Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Inhuman Deeds mission for the Dragon Ball GT Supreme Magnificent Battle. So this is to clear stage 4 of the challenge event, Supreme Magnificent Battle, gathering with the Super Warriors, once with 6 Inhuman Deeds category characters. Now, Inhuman Deeds is a very strange category. Not strange in the sense that it doesn't make sense. Strange in the sense that mixing the units on it is a very difficult task. So in terms of leads, we don't have like the greatest leads. You've got their strength, Namekian and Lord Slug. Honestly, Lord Slug, great unit. Don't know how many people are going to have him. You have AGL Vegeta from Planet Namek Saga. Again, great unit. Don't know how many people are going to have him. And then you have Tech Giant Ape Vegeta, who should be getting his EZA, but doesn't at this point in time. And AGL, Nappa, and Vegeta, who obviously got their EZA, but are only 150% lead. So, right off the bat, leads are a bit all over the place, and the units are the same. Lots of Brolys, lots of Golden Freezes, lots of Mega Shenrons, Sin Shenrons, Babadis, Zamasus merged with Gokus, full Bar Freezes, Boo and Babadis, Goku Blacks, Vegetas, like before his conversion at the end, before his conversion to friendship at the end of Planet Namek Saga. Just, a very kind of all over the place mixed bag of units, but it is a fairly large category. So it's not impossible to have like a strong team. For example, even GT bosses is probably still able to be run under Inhuman Deeds with Omega Shenron, Super Baby 2, Super 17, Baby Tech. There's like enough options almost to even make that team work. So like there is good sub teams underneath. For example, Planet Namek Saga has a pretty decent roster. Saiyan Saga even has a pretty decent roster, and obviously Space Traveling Warriors is not too bad. So there's definitely like some good sub teams that I would probably build. Just would refrain from building, like an actual Inhuman Deeds team. Rather stick with the Space Traveling Warriors with your Freezes, your Dodorias, your Final Form Freezes, or stick with your GTs, with your babies, your Super 17s, your 17 Hellfighter 17s, etc. Or stick with, like your Goku Blacks, your Zamasu merged with Goku Blacks, or your Brolys. I went with Brolys. Why did I go with Brolys? Because Broly's damn awesome. That's why Broly's the king. Look, this event is not too hard, so you don't have to bring a premium, earth-shattering, top-tier team like Planetary Destruction, Broly, Revenge Cycle team. You can bring like a lot of these teams. Like GT bosses will honestly work fine. Look, Space Traveling Warriors will work fine. I don't think Saiyan Saga will work right now, but I think it will when Vegeta gets his EZA. So, honestly, like, you don't need to run such a high level team because this event has a lot of phases, but a lot of those phases are multiple enemies that don't hit, by today's standards, don't hit tremendously hard. They're hitting around 1 million, 1.2 million, and they all have fairly low health. So like one of the main reasons I brought the Broly team is because of all the really good AoE, the ability to do that AoE and to take out multiple enemies at once. And obviously that's something that's incredibly good and incredibly helpful, specifically in this event, because of the ridiculous, powerful nature of the Broly team, but also due to the nature of how the how these AoE kind of multi-enemy phases are working. They split their health, they all have relatively low health, so obviously your risk is catching multiple supers, but at the same time your risk is not super high, because if you just take them out really quickly, then it's not so bad. Your big stumbling block will come against Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He locks character switching and performs a guaranteed critical hit when launching a super attack, and this can cause damage. Even against some of the tankier units in the game, this can cause damage, especially if you are unlucky with where he locks units in place. Because the thing is Gogeta obviously can lock your units, and then by locking your units, he could prevent you from having your tanky unit in slot 1. And some units, like for example Int Elaborally, you know, a lot of his strength comes from his active skill and having that guard and that damage reduction up at the same time. Gogeta obviously removes the capabilities of guard with his critting, and this can definitely affect how well he tanks, which in turn can obviously give you some issues. I mean, you see there, even like Tech Burly took a little bit of damage, my king, my savior. But yeah, obviously, yeah, that's just something to consider. So for me personally, I think, yeah, Inhuman Deeds, yes, Burly team definitely the strongest. But I think, yeah, you're more than fine to experiment around. I think the Goku Black team is probably a little bit too off-kilter to be used here. You have some really strong units, but I think there are some units that will probably let you down. I think Space Traveling Warriors outside of the Burly team, probably your best bet. You have Final Form Freezer, the AGL one who just got his ZZA. You have the First Form Freezer who leads the category. You could run a couple Planet Namek Vegetas on there as well without too much hindrance. So that's probably the second best team I'd run. Or you could obviously just run Inhuman Deeds under Lord Slug and just stick all the best units on that team and see how it goes. Because Lord Slug does do well. I mean, he is a good unit. So, yeah, there's one of those things. All in all, I would say due to the difficulty of the stage itself, this challenge was not as hard as I thought it might be. So I don't think you have to bring this premium level of Burly team to handle the event. You could dial down this team a notch or two, definitely. But at the same time, I do think it is a ton of fun. Very interesting, different design with having phases with lower health and multiple enemies. I think it does create an environment that's quite interesting. It creates a different team building concept than maybe we're used to. But honestly speaking, it was okay. Like it wasn't really that difficult. Obviously, I'm using a very top tier team. So I do understand that this could be very difficult, especially if you have the Burleys. It's going to be difficult to put the team together. Because outside of then having like a bunch of Space Traveling Warriors who are really good, that's it. That's your option. So obviously that's something that's a little bit of a hindrance. But what I will say is I think ultimately you'll still come out okay. Like I think you'll still come out fine because the difficulty of the event itself is not super high. If the event was like super duper duper difficult, I would say this mission can be very restrictive and limiting because you would have to use the Burly team. But I think because of the difficulty of the event, you have the option to tweak the team a little bit. Of course, if you do have Burly, use Burly, definitely. Man's a beast, and his team's a beast, and all of them are beasts. From Strength Burly to Int Burly to Tech Burly to Tech Burly to Tech Burly, AGL Burly even. I mean, they're all really good, so there's no reason not to use them. They'll each do a stellar job in this event, especially Strength Super Easy Burly because of his AoE, and the Tech Burly because of his AoE.